of Wonder book tour. So thank you if you've been here every day, and welcome along to today, the final day. If this is your first day, don't worry, you can go back and watch the previous days another time. But hi, welcome along, good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night, depending on where you are in the world. It's lovely to have you here. Do you know what, because we've just worked out how to do this scheduling of a live, there's a countdown timer on my end, so I see how many people are waiting to watch the video and it counts down. So it's like 5, 4. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna leave it. I wonder if it just automatically pops live. No, it just gets to 0 and then that's it. Then you still have to press the button. So that's why I was like a second late. I thought Facebook might have started the live for me. I guess it's to stop you scheduling a live, forgetting, and then just automatically broadcasting to the world. But welcome, welcome, welcome. So today is the final day of the Worlds of Wonder book tour, and if you haven't already got your book, this is what it looks like. Today, my friends, we are doing the pinnacle of all live colorings. We are doing cake and coloring. Yes, we are. If you have this page, we are going to be coloring these delicious cakes. I have made the mortal error of not bringing my cake in with me. I never planned to eat it when I was coloring live because crumbs. But now I'm just going to be so hungry through this entire live video, and we'll be thinking about my cake the whole time till I get home. Anyway, welcome along. We're going to start colouring. We are today using a Faber-Castell 60 set of colour pencils. These are wax based. They're not too expensive. I don't know the price offhand. I think they were coming in at like less than £20 a packet. And we are going to be colouring this page. If you haven't got your book yet, you can use the download, which is available in your email that you got last night, or just check my website and click on the book tour link. There is a wee download that has like a couple of houses and a couple of cakes to give you like a taster. Couldn't give away every single page that we did on the book tour as a download, but I got little bits and pieces for you. And I'm going to do some details in gel pens. These are Arteza gel pens, so we'll give them a shot. Right, shall we get colouring? Hey, I hope you've got your cakes. I'm cautious about even asking what kind of cake everyone has, because then I'm going to see it and get even more hungry. But I hope you've got your cake. Sit down, either pick up your colouring pencils and do a wee bit of colouring, or just sit back and have a cake, and we'll get to other things later on. Oh, hi Emily, good morning. Hi. Chocolate muffins, good call. Oh dear, Wilma had cake. I'm assuming it's gone. Right, here we go. So I'm going to zoom in a touch. Because we're going to do some gel pen details, I thought it would be fun to do a really bright, colourful cake. Where's the one that was going to do? We'll do this one, and I want to do this one at the bottom, like this one here with loads of candies on it. So here we go. I'll just get us all sliped up. Oh my goodness, I'm seeing all the cakes posted. Right. Let's start here. Now, traditionally, I always do these red and white, these candies. I've no idea why. I guess I think they're a little bit similar to a candy cane, but we'll do them. I'm going to do each one a different colour. So these colouring pencils, we had a big time of when I was doing the ticket page. They are really nice, fairly pigmented. You can sharpen them to a good point. Much, much cheaper than the Faber-Castell Polychromos. This would be like their, I don't want to say more accessible range, because that sounds really, I mean, they're cheaper. Let's not beat about the bush. They're definitely cheaper. I'm going to do all of these pinks, I think, actually. Let's make this a nice, I mean, it's going to be bright, but it's going to be a pink cake. They're cheaper, but they're still a good pencil. Sometimes cheap can mean bad quality. I mean, obviously they're not as pigmented as a Polychromo, but I don't think paying less money is a massive disadvantage in this instance. They're still a good pencil. We will do the last one, a purpley colour. Yeah. So there we have 3 bright candies, and I am going to do a wee bit of colour just in these white sections, which I am going to leave white, but I just want to knock it back from being the ivory of the paper. I wonder what it would look like if we used a white, actually. not that different would be the answer. This set has this really nice pale, kind of pale cream, I suppose it would be. It looks like the colour of the foam on top of a mocha would be what I would say. I'm just going to put a wee touch of this almost just at the edges of these candies, and that will just stop that bit little triangles of white paper being so white and bring them forward so they just don't get lost in the background. I think when you're doing these small compositions, the small victories, because there is a lot of white paper or ivory paper around it, if you don't do something just to avoid these areas being left plain blank paper, they do just sort of fade into the background. It's a bit of camouflage. So having a little bit of colour, even if it's something really pale, just lifts it forward and stops it getting lost, I guess. Right, icing. I'm going to do this bright pink and white. Actually, I'm going to do it candy pink and white. This will end up looking like a giant marshmallow. So what I'm going to do is sort of colour from the wee apexes, the wee, what would you call these bits? The corners, I guess, of these twists, and leave the middle white. That makes it look fairly 3D and enhances that sort of twisty look. We'll just leave, I need to sort these bits out, I'll do that in a second. And I'm going to do the same thing and just put a little bit of this milky colour on the alternative twists. I think I'm going to do a bit darker on some of them, especially at the bottom. If you push hard and make the colour darker at the bottom of a shape, it does just help give it a bit of definition and depth. And I'm going to colour in these wee bits here. Right, here we're going to have some nice dark luscious icing. I imagine this would be like some sort of strawberry glaze. Now I'm just pushing really hard for all of this shape because I just want it to be a very punchy, vibrant raspberry. And then I'm going to go over it with the gel pens at the end. And I would like a white gel pen to add some highlights to make it look really glossy. I'm not sure if I've got a white in there. I think those are just glitter gel pens. But we'll see what we've got. Let's do this for now and then we can loop back and tackle it. So the candies at the bottom, this sort of candy incrustation at the bottom, I don't know what the proper name for that is. The fancy cake decorators amongst you will know. It's like candy rubble, I guess. It's going to be all different multicolours, so I feel we need quite a pale tone on the actual cake itself, otherwise it's just going to go bananas. So I'm going to lay down a little bit of this creamy base colour that we've been using first. This will almost be our base coat. If I want to build up a few different layers of colour, quite often I'll put down the palest colour first, and this sort of acts as a base layer and means that the future colours, the next colours that you put on, the subsequent ones, they almost slip about a little bit easier if they're going onto colouring pencil and not straight onto paper. I guess it's because pencil and pencil glides around a little easier than just pencil onto paper. So a good tip if you're going to build up some colour and you want it to be quite light and tactile is to do a really pale base colour first, lay that down, and then that will be the ground on which you can add more colours. I think we're going to make this cake yellow. It's one of those naked sponge cakes, you know, when they don't add any frosting to the surface of the cake. It's just all crumbs. I'm going to do a wee bit more colour just at the arch of these drips and around the rubble here, the candy rubble. Oh, hi Bev. I just looked up there and saw everyone saying hi. I still can't get onto Facebook Live. What a scunner, eh? Can't believe that happened this week. Over a year now, I've been doing those Facebook Live videos. And the 1 week that we're doing a book launch doesn't work. Typical. Typical. For down here, I'm going to do some pinks, some purples, maybe even some blues. I think we'll just do them all different jeweled tones. What I'm going to do is batch it out. So I've grabbed this pink pencil first. I'm going to dot about a few different candy shapes with this pink, and then I'll put it down and switch out for another one. Let's go with, I was going to do blue, but does blue candy feel weird? Maybe not. I think an orange would be really interesting. A bit lighter, zingier. It's nice not having to push super hard to get this bold blast of colour, but equally the pencils are controllable. Sometimes if I'm using like a Prismacolor, which is a super soft, I think that those are my softest wax-based pencils. The pigment is nice and bold and bright, but the pencils are so unctuous and soft that for me to be able to do what I just did, well, it wouldn't even be an option. It would just squish out everywhere. This is a metallic pencil, I think. Give this one a little go. So for me, the ideal are pencils that are soft enough that you get a good blast of pigment, but hard enough that I can sharpen them so that I can do these wee details. Something that I love in my books is that there are areas that are larger and you can do your blending and all those good things. But also I have some areas that are very tight, very small, delicate, intricate, and you really need to have a sharp pencil to be able to do those bits. I also just like the idea that there's lots of little details that you only really discover when you look hard. I think the idea that you're invited to pause and peer a little closer, that's really sweet. This is a bit of a toothpastey colour. I think after this we'll have one more colour. Maybe a pale pink. There's a few wee gaps. I'm just going to fill them in with this pale pink. So there we go. That is one candy cake, and then we'll do the cake stand and then add some extra inky details. I'm gonna go over this top candy here and make it a bit bolder. Cake stand, I'm gonna do blue, pink, yellow, pink. We'll do it pink. Oh, just got my little loaf cakes out of the oven. Well done, Roseanne. Oh, everyone's suggesting colours. Nobody suggested pink. I sometimes just think if there's loads of colours going on, you don't want the cake stand in this instance to be the star of the show. We almost want this cake stand to be the supporting actress who will help elevate our attention towards the cake itself, literally. So we want it to be nice and to be coherent and not to be too jarring. So that's why I tend to almost echo the colours that have been used in the cake for the cake stand. A pale version of one of the colours already in the cake tends to just work really well because it supports the cake without taking away some attention from it. Okay, that's us. Now I'm going to add some gel pen details. Now these are the, let me zoom out. These are the Arteza gel pens, which I usually use the Sakura ones, but let's give these guys a shot. I have to hide my gel pens because the girls love them at home. I've not used these much in my colouring before. So let's have a little scribble to get the ink going. Oh, wow. They're very sparkly. Right, this is going to be fine. So with a gel pen, I do like to have a little scribble just to make sure the ink is flowing. If there's any like wee air bubbles or blobby bits on the roller ball, it's going to come out sort of smudgy and gloopy. So you do need to just get your ink flowing. But as you can see, that's working fine. I think I'm going to, let's do this first. Holy guacamole is so glittery. So I'm going to do the glitter details on, this is so lovely, on the icing only, not the cake. This is my preferred way of using gel pens. I don't like to, I'm going to do a few of these. I don't like to colour completely in gel pen. I prefer to add details. Oh, they're so nice. I've just gone over a blue one, but never mind. I'm going to have to tip this up so you can see it in a second. It is so sparkly. Here is a, this is a silver. Oh no, that one's not flowing quite so well, which makes me nervous. We'll go for it anyway. I'm going to do this, or should we do it gold on those wee? No, I'll do silver. I'll do silver on here. I'm just going to do gel pen on this one here. That is so bright. In hindsight, whew, let me try and tip this to catch the light. So sparkly. I think it works best just on the wee candies that are at the bottom. Holy guacamole, they are so sparkly. Will I show you what it looks like just to do a whole... Right, I don't usually just do gel pen, but let's go for it. Let's do this one down here. Let's do all the candies in gel pen and then the cake itself in colouring pencil. I wonder if you need to do gel pen first or second in that instance. What we'll do is we'll do like the chocolate and the cake in colouring pencil and everything that would be a candy in gel pen. Make sure you've got your paper underneath the sheet that you're working on. Right. I'm going to need to be careful about spilling ink. Oh, do you know what would be actually better? This one here. Let's do this one. Right, I'm going to carry on with this one. I hope you've managed to re-find me again. Sorry, everyone. Also, if there's any comments that are not very complimentary, just ignore them and we'll sort it out later. Right. Here's a few of these wee candies. I'm going to do a few more. Let's not do silver, actually. Let's do purple. So after I've finished this live, I'll go back and I'll stitch these two separate videos together so that you just have one that will sit on the YouTube channel. We've had so many troubles with internet connectivity this week. I genuinely think it's because they're doing a little bit of work on on the internet lines here. I see a lot of work vans out on the street outside. Oh, that's why you should wait. Just got a little bit of purple in there. We'll do the icing. Let's do the jam inside it. So these are the Arteza gel pens. I'll show you the pack again at the end. I'm looking for a red. Here's a red. Here's a red. They are just super, super luscious. Oh my goodness, so sparkly and just lovely pens for working with. I don't usually colour straight onto the colouring book like that. I would usually just use gel pens for details, but this is actually working really nicely. I think especially for a drawing like this where it is so pretty. Right, icing, icing, icing. I'm going to do a few more of our candies. I'm going to do a blue, a pale blue. I'll just do 2 of these. I'll do a couple of red ones, I think, as well. And then maybe a yellow, if I can find a yellow. Here we go. Oh, get that going. And then I'm going to do this little nook in there as well. Right, that's all our candies done. You just can't see how sparkly they are, I think, unless I tip them up. Oh, hold on. Wow. I'm going to wait a wee second and then I'll do this drip icing. I'm going to colour the cake itself. Because this is quite a sparkly cake, let's keep the sponge itself fairly neutral. I'm going to lay down this just basic coffee foam colour again. It's almost like the world's worst cup of tea. If you drink your cup of tea this colour, I'm afraid we can't be friends. Too much milk. But that's the kind of colour it is, just a really base pale cream. And then I'm going to put a wee bit of darker brown, I think, over the top to make this look kind of a golden sponge is what we're aiming for. We'll do the bits on the inside. Somebody's very luckily come along and had a nice wee bit of cake before we started. Let's have a wee touch of, no, that's too dark. This brown, I think. It's like a browny gold. That's perfect. So that's just made the cake a wee bit darker, given it a bit of depth, but we're really not going to compete with all that icing going on. Equally, you don't need to do your cakes crumb colour, just the same way that when we were colouring the houses yesterday and we did them all in those jewel box bright shades, you could do your cakes exactly the same. So they could all be fantastical bright colours. In fact, that might actually even look better if this had been like a bright duck egg blue cake. Or you can keep it a bit more realistic like that. For the icing, I think I'm going to do it in this pink again. The pink is just phenomenal. Let's do it in pink, although it's going to compete with that pink there. So maybe we'll do it a different colour. Let's do it orange. Oh no, let's do it pink. I like the pink. So some gel pens I find the ink doesn't flow very freely and you're sort of stuttering and going over and over to try and get the ink to flow. Not so with these ones. The ink is just running out really nicely. I mean, it's not a really fine nib. You would struggle to do small details, but what you could do is just do tiny wee dots for areas that you want a bit more detail, as opposed to trying to draw with the pen like this and fill bits in. I would say that is the thinnest line that you would manage with this pen. And then down here, let me show you how I would do smaller details. Doing this orange. I would just do wee dots like this. and build them up. I'm not even trying to get them over the top of the dots that are on the drawing. Just a haphazard sprinkling is what I would aim for. You could do that inside the cake as well. I'm not sure what that colour is going to be there actually. Will we just do that? Oh, it would kind of be a marzipan layer. We'll do it pale pink. It can be like a pinky marzipan. And then cake stand. Let's do it blue. We'll just do a really pale duck egg blue, which should help the pink sing. I'm going to do push hard on the left side of each of these twirls and colour each of these little twisty compartments separately, but in the same sort of technique. So pushing hard on this side and then having it lighter as we ease our way around the twist. There we go. Let me try and show you how shiny this is. Oh, there we go. Holy moly. So shiny. I keep my gel pens in the packet lying flat and not upright. I don't know if that is the right thing to do. Look how bright this page is. So this has been a really fun page to colour. I've just used a combination of the Faber-Castell colouring pencils and then a few of the Arteza gel pens. I think these might be my new favourites. I used to love the Sakura gel pens, the Jelly Rolls, but these are lovely. I suspect they're probably cheaper as well. And you get a nice amount of colours and they are so glittery. Right, how are we doing for time? It's bang on 1:30. Right, everyone. Sorry about the technical glitches. Literally a year of doing live videos and then today that had to happen. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Let me see if I can flip this so that you can see it. Oh, doesn't really, I can't, no, that was pointless. I would really highly recommend those glitter gel pens, and when I turn the page and look on the back, I don't have any bleed through. But remember and test them in the colour palette test page at the back of the book to see if you're going to get any bleed through. And also, just because this has the treat page as well on this side, there are some beautiful areas there that we could do some glitter gel pen details. I think combined, this double page spread, like the treats card and these, would be just an absolute beauty of a page to fully colour and then add the gel pen details. I just smudged it. Look, it takes age. It must take ages to dry. Just smudge that one. Definitely give them a while to dry then. Top tip. You heard it here first. It's got a nice marble effect. Right, thank you so much to everybody who has joined me for all 5 days of the Worlds of Wonder book tour. It has been a week of technical difficulties, but epic joy. I feel the more that goes wrong, the more connected we all feel, and the happier I am with the colouring because I'm just delighted that it's working. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've had some fun. You've got some ideas for your colouring. You've had a few sneak peeks at some of the pages that we perhaps haven't looked at before. If you are new here and you're just thinking about picking up a pencil and doing some colouring, please do. It is so good for you. A great way to pause, reset, get all those feel-good vibes. And as you can see from the chat, everyone in the colouring community is lovely. Apart from, I noticed what happened on the last one. I'll fix that. But thank you so much. I also noticed the response, which was well done, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been so much fun. All the videos are being posted on my website. If you just go onto www.johannabasford.com and click on the book tour tile, it takes you to a page on the website that'll have all the videos. I'll edit this one together because it's in 2 parts. and also the link to get all the information that we had in the MailChimp email with like the newsletter email with like the downloads and the suggestions of cakes and candles and all those good things. Oh, I hope you're all enjoying your cake. I'm ever so jealous. Just sitting here. I mean, I don't even have a snack with me today. I've eaten all my snacks. People often ask, what's the most difficult thing about being self-employed and working by yourself? The most difficult thing is trying not to eat my packed lunch before midday. I literally sometimes have to leave it in the car. Otherwise it gets to 10:30. I've eaten my sandwiches, all my snacks, and I'm like that, oh well, that's all my food gone for today until I get home for my tea. What a disaster. Okay, thank you so much, folks. If you have done any colouring this week at all of Worlds of Wonder, please, please, please share your books, share your pictures. I just love to see them. It's so joyful and uplifting and so much fun to see the pictures that you've coloured, because they're always way better than I could ever have anticipated and so inspiring for me. I'm going to be back here next week. It's actually my birthday next week on Thursday, so I'm probably not going to do a live on Thursday. I'll post more about this next week because I'm going to be like doing some with the kids. I'm not going to be in the studio. But if you want to join me next week, we'll be continuing our live colouring, hopefully back on Facebook. I'm going to try and sit down properly and take a bit of time and fix all that. But we'll be on some platform, whether here or on Facebook. Please go tell all your friends about Worlds of Wonder. I'm so delighted with the response to the book. It has just been perfect. I'm so glad lots and lots of people are finding it helpful at this time. Thank you for all your birthday messages. Can't believe it's been a year since my last birthday. I know that sounds like a silly thing to say, but... And also, like last year this time, we were sort of right in the thick of all the COVID scariness, so it was kind of a weird birthday. This year it'll be a bit more easygoing. We're going to have afternoon tea, me and the girls. We're so excited. We've been looking at different ones that we might get. I'll post you a picture because, yeah, there will be much cake involved. What was I going to say? I can't really remember, but it was probably something about colouring books. If you've got your copy of Worlds of Wonder, please go leave a review. It really helps other people to find the book. And I'll be back here next week. Right. Thank you. Oh, Anne says it's her birthday on Thursday too. Happy birthday, Anne. Weird fact, Anne, did you know that the Titanic sunk on our birthday on the 15th of April? Obviously not the same year, but it's a weird thing, isn't it? It's always weird when you find out something horrible happened on your birthday. I feel a bit sad. But, I mean, good things happened on that day as well. Like, we were born, so, you know, cake all round. Right, I'll speak to you all next week. Have a lovely weekend. Thank you so much for joining me on this epic Worlds of Wonder tour. See you next week. Bye-bye.